think we are. We are. At least according to my streaming application, it says we're live. So let's make sure that I'm muted. Aha! I was not muted. Now I am. Let's get the tweet sent out. Doing cool things with Substance. Income watch. Yep, that's pretty much what we're doing. So we'll tweet that and go back to Twitch. All right. So, hello everyone. This is Chris Ingerson. It is November 17th. This is the November 17th TextQuest dev stream. It is Tuesday, so we are going to be doing texturing. Specifically, we're going to be messing around with a lot of function stuff in Substance. I have I have added a new empty project that's going to hold all of my custom functions, because you can actually specify a folder in Substance Designer for your own custom stuff, and then that'll show up down here in the library. That's actually what I was messing around with before I started streaming, hence why I was a few minutes late. Although it's not set up all the way yet. But I do have our blend over time node that we made for Lava that performs the fade in, fade out. That is in that custom functions SBS file, and then we're going to be adding more functions to that as we go along. So, how do we want to do this? Let's start with Lava for now. So right now, let me open up. Here we go. This is our Lava Substance. We'll open it up in Substance Player. So it has fade in and fade out if it decides to play ever. There we go. So you can see that it fades in and it fades out. It's actually fading a emissive, or the emissive layer, or it's actually messing with the emissive mask. So the lava, the dark lava areas will actually emit light over time, and then they will fade back in or back out to not fade or to not showing any light. And that's to give us this nice, glowing, dimming, glowing effect. Actually, I should have the roughness all the way up, probably, because lava's not really known for being reflective. So that's our current lava texture. We're also going to add scrolling to this so that lava can scroll. Or, well, the lava looks like it's moving. It's not just going to be, sitting here flat. Because right now, if we go to Unity, then we run around in our wonderful scene. Ah, dang it! I should have baked the light while I was... forgot to do that last night. Oh well. I knew I would forget something. Anyway, so right now our lava does not actually scroll. It just fades in and out. So we get this really nice effect, but it's not moving. It's just sitting there. That's not very impressive. So we're going to end up having the lava slowly scroll in one direction. That way it actually feels like a lava river, a magma river, since that's what the entire point of this was. And not just like a lava lake, although that would be interesting to see as well. And we might also, just for effect, since it won't be that hard to do, we might do some very, very slight bobbing. So the lava could potentially... let me see if I can survive this fall. Okay, I can. So the lava could potentially rise and fall just a little bit. Not much, but enough that it looks like it's actually this moving object. We're probably not going to do actual waves, so not, hilly sort of affairs, but more like this entire mesh will just all go up at once, very slightly, go down slightly. Oops. Just for a nice effect. So, alright, so that's that. And now we are going to start. How are we going to do this? So this is going to be fun. So we're going to need to make a new. I wonder if I can. Oh, look at that! I can't go right into a new function. We're going to call our function UV scroll. Hold on. capital U, lowercase v, and then scroll. There we go. And first I should probably check to make sure that there's no function that already does that. No, these are all just math functions. Okay. Which actually, I guess we wouldn't want UV scroll to be a function either. In fact, blend over time might be a bit of a misnomer now that I think about it. I mean, we are using it to blend over time, but there might be a better name to more specifically say what it does. It's fine for now. So this function, we're essentially going to want to have a function that will adjust the UVs of this of the outputs, basically. So we can provide the function with a vector 3, so either an x, a y, or a z value, or, well, actually no, we don't need 3, we just need a vector 2, because you can't really scroll a texture in the z. That does not make much sense, unless you're doing some really, really interesting 3D texture, I suppose, but yeah, it's not something I want to try and do. So x and y, and then we're going to need to adjust, so we're going to need to adjust direction through x and y values, and speed. And from there, we will have it be based on time, similar to our blend over time, and we will see what we can get happening with that. I just really want to mess more with the animation stuff, so that's what we're doing. So let's go back to our UV scroll. So we're going to need an input. And I got to remember how to go through all this. So control, maybe? Really? Well, okay, fine. So let's have a vector. Float 3 is probably what we're going to want. Or not quite. Fine. We'll have a float, I guess. Can we expose that? No, we can't. So we are going to need samplers, no. Cast, no. Logical, no. Comparison, function. Although actually, we are going to want in our graph here, I'm going to move my outputs to the right a little bit. We are going to want to have a switch that will determine this, because it could be that we don't have any scrolling speed, which would be at scroll speed 0. And if that's the case, we don't want to waste the CPU telling it to scroll 0. We might as well just not do it at all. So we will add a switch statement, if I can find it. I know we're going to end up using transformation 2D. Function nodes. I wonder if we even can. Does it? Yeah, there it is. Oh, but that's... Really? Maybe we don't have a choice. Well, either way. We can just do this. Put that right there. So we'll try it with just our color first, because our color is going to be the most easy, or the easiest to see. So offset as we go, you'll see it sliding like that. And God, that looks really cool, actually. So having a different emissive... Let's put it at 0, and let's scroll our... Yeah, that's really interesting. We have a different emissive from our actual texture, so you're getting this like ghosted layer effect. That's pretty cool. Well, anyway. Wonder if I can go further than that. Okay, I can. It's just clamped to that. Okay. So, what are we going to do here? So we're going to need to drive these offsets by a by a value. So we will go ahead and say, I wonder if it's really, hold on. Empty function, I guess. And edit that. Okay. So yeah, that's what we want. Oh. Hello, Stealth's friend, Devin DeMan. Hope I got that all right. I am working on textures for a first-person text-based adventure called TextQuest. This is Substance Designer, which is a really, really nice texturing tool for 3D models. And I'm currently trying to figure out a way to scroll this material so that it moves, or at least it looks like it's moving. So the actual object won't be moving, but the texture on top of it will be. That way, it looks like it looks like the lava is actually flowing, as opposed to just sort of being a static image. So we want to have, and I'm also trying to learn Substance's function capability. So you can actually build your own functions inside of Substance Designer to let you do these fancy effects. And I have not done that a lot, and I would like to do that more because it's really, really cool. So let's try a, it's not a vector 3. Can I do a float? Okay, let me go back here. So it's based off of time. I guess I wasn't giving it an input. Oh no, that's right, because you add inputs. That's right. That's right. Okay, I remember now. So let me change this. Clear. And it's going to have an empty function. It's going to be edited right here. So like a remake of Minecraft, but different. Not really. There's no crafting, or well, there's crafting, but not like that type of crafting. There's no blocks that you dig through or that you place down. I can actually show you real quick. Scenes, castle quarters. Although I think everything's busted right now because I'm in the middle of. I was going to fix that later tonight, so it's going to be a short-lived demo. But the idea is that everything in the game world is literally made of the text that you would expect to see. So, like, walls are the word wall, grass is the word grass, doors are the word door, and if we actually play, we'll be able to see more stuff. Really? Oh, that's right. It's because it's busted right now. Here, hold on. I'm currently in the middle of a bit of a level refactor, or a mechanic refactor, so the objects are a little broken, but you can see what I mean when I'm talking about them. So everything is actually made up of text. And then I think it'll be fine. So yeah, you can interact with objects. They're all kind of disjointed right now since I'm refactoring things. But I could say like eat, and it'll say like, I don't think that would agree with you. Or what else? Take. It's attached to the wall. You can insult it. You can examine it. So it's like an old text-based adventure like Zork or King's Quest, basically. So you can just run around. And then there's you have inventory space. You'll get items. You'll interact with objects in the world. I don't know if the door's going to work or not. Oh, it does. Oh, right. It's still Inception Door 2. Because I still have that. And then this is the first level. So we get our little bit of story here with trying to talk to the king, but then we get a wizard that shows up and then bam, magic's everything. And that particle effect. And the laugh. So that's basically what it is in a nutshell. I think I should be able to examine the king. So yeah, it's like an old school text-based adventure, but with updated mechanics and a more interesting aesthetic, at least in my opinion. Um, anyway, back to our wonderful function building in don't know why I can't think of things tonight. In Substance Designer. So we want to build something that's going to scroll this. So we need to add. Can I really not save this as a new function? Doesn't seem like it wants to. Let me output. It's going to be a float 2. Yeah. Okay. So let me set as output node, I guess. Okay. So if we go back to our lava graph, click on our transformation 2, because we're adjusting this offset value. But it doesn't seem to want to... Really, though, like I can't expose it. Huh. I wonder if it has something different, because it's not letting me base it off of anything worthwhile. So set function from size, I don't need that. Set function from a constant value, I suppose? No? And an empty function doesn't do anything either. That's kind of annoying. Oh, and thank you, Self, my man, for following. Hopefully the short demonstration answered your questions about what TextQuest was. It's kind of an odd concept. So let's just set it from size and see what we can do. Nope, not wanting to do anything with it, huh? All right, fine. Let's see if... I don't think I didn't do anything different when I made this when I made this blend over time node. Why is it so awkward for me right now? Add node. Well, for the time being, let's just let's delete this. Let's add a node. It's going to be a vector 2. No, it's a float 2. Sorry, float 2. So this will be our output because we want to have an x and a y value. So we are going to need to actually allow various input. So you know what? Just copy this and paste it. I'm just going to rename this. I don't know what I'm forgetting to do, but I'm forgetting to do something. So I'm going to call this UV scroll. And we'll rename it later to be more appropriate. But all right. So for UV scroll, we're going to need to do a lot of things. Get rid of all of this. And we do want it to be based off of time. But we're going to need to have a input. Let's get rid of these. So we're going to add a new input. It is going to be a float 1. That's going to be x value. Actually, we'll do x. See if we can do a float 2. There we go. So direction. Call it direction. And then we will have another one that is a float 1 for speed. Call it speed. All right. So these are our two values that we need because we need the user to be able to input either a positive or negative x value, a positive or negative y value for which direction it's going to go, and then a speed at which we want it to actually scroll. So we are going to add variables. Get. I guess we'll do a get float 2. Okay. I wonder if there's a way to split. Nope, there's not. Goody goody. So, there's going to be a lot of hmming and hawing tonight, I think, because I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff that I haven't done before. So I need to, like, split up this vector 2 to actually get the different values for it. It might be easier to... hold on. I'm going to cheat, and we're going to add a float2 parameter, just because I would like to see. So yeah, it's that. Okay. Let's go back here. So this is going to give us 2 sliders to work with, or at least 2 fields to work with. But we need to split up the functionality. So... Control... No. There. This might be easier. Vector... Extract a single specified coordinate from the input vector. Well, maybe I do need to make it a vector. That's so weird. Okay, I guess. So let's space this out a little bit. I'm also going to drag this down so we have more room to work with in the nodes area, since that's what we're focusing on. So let's change direction to be a vector. Of course, it's got to be a float2. It's only going to be float2. Okay, that means we're limited to this. That means that there has to be a way to make a float2 into some sort of vector. Vector float2. Nope, that's what that is. And then samplers. Nope. Float, operator, logical, comparison, function, cosine, sequence constant, float, integer. Nope, I can't get it from there. Alright, fun. This is when we start doing this. Substance. Designer. Float 2 to float 1. Let's see what we get. Here we go. Implant function called... Okay, here we go. Use the swizzle nodes. If you only want to extract one float component, use swizzle float 1. Okay. So I guess that's what we want then. What is swizzle float 2? Okay, we don't want that then. So, does this work? Yeah, it does. Interesting. Hello, Quantum Thinker. We are currently trying to set up material scrolling. So we're going to actually have our lava material scroll. And we're doing it with our wonderful function editor capabilities. So we're going to need another swizzle float 1. This time it's going to be Y. Oops. All right. And then... So that means that our last... No. Let's delete that. So the last thing we're going to do is create a vector float 2, I suppose. So ultimately it's going to connect back into this, I think. But that's like far off. So we're going to be adjusting all of our stuff based off of time. Hello, Domdag. Good to see you again. We are currently trying to make material animation work. So we're going to actually have our lava be scrolling, as opposed to just being static. Okay, so how are we going to do this? So it's going to be based off of time again. And then we have an input value for direction, as well as a speed that we're going to have to multiply by. So I wonder if we want to do operator modulo. So let's pull these things up here. So this is our base value. And then we're going to have... So I guess it's going to be time divided by x. Would that be right? Yes, I think that would be right. No, that's completely wrong. That is not the way to go. Hooray for maths. So we basically want to get a percentage value that's going to have to be normalized because materials are always, 0 to 1, or textures are 0 to 1. So we want to scroll a normalized value based off of the speed and the time gone by. So let's see. We're also going to need add a node variables. Get float. This is going to be our speed. Okay. So these are our three values that we're going to be using to drive everything. Let me get rid of this. I don't think we need a modulo. And we're not going to have a sign because we don't want it to go between 0 and 1 or negative 1 and 1. We just want it to always go in one specific direction. Although we want it to wrap. So once it gets to 1, it should snap back to 0. Because if you have it infinitely going up, you'll eventually get floating point errors. So if someone just waited for long enough, their computer wouldn't be able to calculate out that many decimal places. So to get around that, we are going to have to do some programming. And I'm going to have to think about how to do that. Well, while I'm thinking of this, anyone doing anything exciting tonight? I mean, besides obviously the excitement that is watching the dev stream. That's, just the maximum amount of excitement that one can have. But, so we want to scroll X and time. So let's have... So we're going to have operators, multiplication. So we want to move X times speed with... Maybe I need to have... Yeah, we're using time as the driving factor, but we need to always make sure that it snaps to 0, not between negative 1 and 1. Oh wait, no, you're right. I was doing that before, wasn't I? Hold on, let me save that. Let me check this out. So this was our invert values, all this stuff. Our sign values negative 1. Right. Because this was just normalizing time, wasn't it? Okay. So, well, but it's not quite... Well, no, that's what sine was doing. Right. So we want this, basically. Okay. You're right. I was being kind of dumb. So we're going to copy this all over. Let's go to UV scroll. Let's paste it. Move it down here. So we're going to have time multiplied by fade frequency, which is now going to become speed. So we don't need any of this. And then we don't need this switch. We do need this. So this is the part that we had for normalizing sine, I believe, or normalizing time. So it was always between 0 and 1. Although we need to have the division in there, don't we? Add a operator division. Get this stuff going. Okay. So that gives us our 0 and 1 value, or 0 to 1 value. We're going to scroll all this stuff, move it over a little bit to the left. Okay, yeah, that was a lot easier. Don't know why I made it so hard. As always, thank you for the very good ideas. Quantum. So now we're going to want to do, let's move this up, add node, and add a, I guess this, we want to switch, don't we? So operator, no, control, if else. Oops. And let's go ahead and add a new parameter for scroll. Make this a Boolean. Call this scroll. And make the description should the values and yeah, no, that's not actually. Yeah, hold on. Update based on. No, should the offset update with time? I think that's what it's going to be. Because I'm sure that I'm going to come back to this later and be like, I have no idea what I was doing. I don't remember how to do any of this. So we'll add a node, variable, get bool. This is going to be our scroll. Just plug that in. Alright. And we're going to have to do that twice, actually. So let's move this stuff down here. All of it. Move this down here. Move this up here. Copy this and then duplicate it. Well, actually, no, I don't need to do that. I can just do this here. Add node. Control, if else. Got to do it twice. This. And then change these values. Except that's not actually what it's going to be. So, actually, do I even need speed now that I think about it? Because the direction itself, you could have scrolling of different speeds with X and Y by just adjusting those values. And if that's the case, speed is an irrelevant variable. We don't need it anymore. So we can actually get rid of this. We can just hook up all this stuff directly. Move this over. Move this stuff. Let's break this. This is going to go way over here. This is just breaking out that functionality. So we'll scroll this, put it here. Let's move it up one. All right. And then we're going to do this. So we want to, I think we want to multiply this, if I'm not mistaken. So operator, multiplication. We're going to multiply these two values to get our x. Otherwise, we'll just get our x. And then do the same thing down here. So function, or not function, operator, multiplication. And do our y. Do that. Otherwise, we'll just do that. Oof, things are a little messy here. And then this will be our So let's get rid of this. And for now, since our my custom shelf isn't finished setting up yet, I'm just going to copy this directly and paste it in here. Paste. Okay. So now we can set this up on our actual lava, and then hopefully it'll actually get everything scrolling. So let's adjust our offset here. Let's do UV scroll. And then we are going to have set this as output node. We're going to have some new stuff on our lava input parameters. It's a lot of input parameters. So we're going to add one for use scroll. I'm just going to call this use scrolling. It is a bool. That's going to be set to true, false by default, I think. We're going to add a new parameter for. Oh, I almost forgot we don't need speed anymore. So we can change this to scroll direction. Make this float 2. Slider would probably be fine, I think. Set the min to be -1 and +1 to be the max. It's not going to clamp them. That way people can just go crazy. Excuse me. Label X and Y is good. Label the whole thing is going to be direction. This is going to be cool. I've not used a float 2 before. Oh, and it's also visible if. I don't know if this is going to do anything, but I want to say use scroll. So I'm hoping that means that if use scrolling is checked off. Oh, nope, I got a warning. Why is it mad? Aw, really? Dang it! Darn it. Okay. I'll have to look into that then. I was hoping I would be able to set it up so that it wouldn't show direction if use scrolling was unchecked, but it's fine. Okay, so with that, we can just go ahead and say variables. No, yeah, variables get float. Nope, we don't need the float. We need a float 2. Variables get float 2, and then say scroll direction. Boop, right there. And then add node, variables, get bool. That is just going to be, oh, that's not right. Here we go. Use scroll. Sweet. Let's go back here, and then let's get rid of speed. I don't need that. Then we'll go back here. We will also get rid of speed here. We don't need that. So when we go back to lava and adjust this function, that's all good. Okay, so all that fancy work, and hopefully this will actually work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this, see if we get any sort of effect. Fine, so you still can't do it. Or, here, let me see if I can just find it real quick. Substance player. That's documents, huh? So local disk, program files, algorithmic, substance player. I guess there. Got an error. That's not good. Oh, wait. I have use scrolling checked off. Oh dear. That's interesting. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. That was not what I was expecting. Okay, so let's have it scroll 1 in the y and 0 in the x. Let's try this again. Okay, so it's still doing the sine thing. It's going crazy with it, too. I mean, that's funny, but not quite what we had in mind. And I should have known that that was going to happen because I knew that it was still going to. We didn't change any of the sine stuff, so it's just going to go back and forth like this. But we don't actually want that. But the fact that it's moving is a positive thing. So save that. Let's close this. Let's go back to here, and then let's adjust our UV scroll. So I guess we'll actually just adjust this one for now since it doesn't really matter for the rest of it. So how are we going to do this? Hold on, let me space this out a little bit better. Because this is all just a mess right now. It's all cluttered. So this, I guess we don't actually want a sine value, or maybe we do. Let me think. All we really want is, oh, I'm so stupid. Why am I dumb? Okay. Add node, constant, float. 1. Add node, operator. Modulo. All we care about is the remainder, basically, of the time. I knew that modulo was in there, but I was being stupid, apparently. So, we basically want to divide time by 1, and then whatever the percentage is, that's the value that the scroll is going to be at for either of these given values. So let's move this back over here, and we're going to put this right there. So, is that really all I had to do? That seems too easy, but we will try it real quick. Still got that error. Okay. Set this to be 0. And let's play. Nope. That scrolls nothing. So, Really, though? That doesn't seem right. It should at least be... Why does it have 2 things open of... Oh, because this is the old one. That's why. I wonder if there's a debugger so that I can actually look at these. Here, actually, maybe Substance Player does have one. I'm curious as to why it's giving me this error. No root node defined. What does that mean? Opacity multiplier. That's fine for now. So if we turn this on, again, let's slide this down to 0. Freeze tweaks, slider tracking, just pinning it up, resetting the tweaks. Switch substance engine. Doesn't seem like it has a good thing, I suppose. So let me play. No, it's not doing anything. But yeah, let me go back to Substance Designer. Let me see if I can. Create graph from reflection. No, I guess I can't really debug these values, which kind of sucks. Makes it hard to guess if you're getting it right. So, Oh, wait. Ah! I'm stupid. I bet this is in milliseconds. I bet time is in milliseconds. Hold on. If that's the case, then it would never be more than 0. Oh, that's something else. um, so that's why it wasn't actually scrolling, because if you divide 1,000 milliseconds by 1, you're never going to have anything other than, or modulo it, you're never going to have anything other than 0. Um, okay, let me try this. Here we go. Let's see if we can find time. Um, time. Time. No, it's time in seconds. I wonder if there's. Okay. So that just means that I'm approaching this the wrong way, I think. So we can't divide by 1. It is a float. What if we just try this? Let's just try plugging in time, the time value itself, and just see what happens. Because I'm guessing it's not going to be pleasant, honestly. Um, or it might work, but it's probably not going to be great. Turn you on, and yeah, so it's working. Zero you out. Move you back here. What the heck? Hold on. Ugh. Really? So that means I'm using the node wrong. Okay. So I was partially correct. In fact, I would probably say this is still correct, and I'm just doing this wrong. So hold on. Let's open up our documentation here and search for vector 2. See what we get. Or float 2, I suppose. Function node. Vector casts 2 floating values into a vector with 2 coordinates. Yeah. Float 2. But it seems to be wrong. And I'm guessing that because if I have both x and y set to 1, it will scroll. But if you have x set to 0 and y set to 1, nothing happens. Which is not good. So, vector. I mean, that's all it is. It's weird that it's called in and last, but I guess that's just how it is. Yeah, direction is a float 2 and output's a float 2. Oh, well, that could be problematic. Maybe it was fine. I just forgot to hook up that one node. Turn you on. Set you to 0. Let's hit play. Yarg. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So let's change this to like 0.25. Oh, it's jumping. That's no good. Um, hmm. So, hmm. Can I change? I can. Okay, so let me set this to 1 again. I'm going to set our frame rate to 5 frames per second. Really? 5 FPS is faster than 30 FPS? That doesn't seem right. Let's do 1 frame per second. Are you okay? That's kind of backwards. So apparently, the lower FPS you go, the higher the animation is. That doesn't even make sense. Fine, we'll go to 60. Okay, okay. I think Substance is just messing with me now. So let me change this to 1 frame per second. Then if I hit play, which it doesn't, seriously does not like to play. It's going so fast. Oh, you could be right. Yeah, if I'm using time. But so 0.25. So I'm trying to think. I was gonna do this. Let me turn my emissive down to black, so it's not constantly fading in and out. So we get halfway up, and then it snaps back down to 0. Um, Hold on. Let's slow this down even further. 0.025. What the heck? 0.025. There we go. Oh dear. So that doesn't work directly then, because it's snapping based on time. Um, okay. That makes sense actually. So let me stop this. Let's close this. So we don't actually want to snap this based on time. We want to um, we want to. I'm. I don't know if we have to worry about it because I feel like time doesn't just. Hold on. Set this on. Let's set our speed to 0.1 and 0.1. Then if we hit play. Oh, really? It's not scrolling at all in the Y. So go back to sine, then use something like sine to the power sine squared. Well, I don't think we need. Hmm. Would that work? 1 divided by sine squared? Because I mean, oh God, 1 divided because that'd be 1 divided by -1 times -1, which would be 1, which would be 1. Oh yeah, no, you're right. That would be right. Um, okay. Well, let's try that then. Although I am kind of annoyed that for some reason, hold on, let me set this to 0. Stop it, and then come on. Oh, I think it's because I broke my. I keep forgetting to hook this back up. Okay, so let's go back to here. Let's copy this. So, oh, divided by 0? Yeah, it would, because you'd have a sine of 1 would be 0. Um, um, hold on. Maybe we don't need sine. Because I feel like sine is taking it too far. We don't quite need sine. Um, but, oh, you know what we can do? We can still keep constant float. Set this to be 1 again. Then we can do modulo again. No, that's not going to work. Crap. Not without individually changing things. So I was going to say, or not multiplication. I was going to say that I could just divide this one by our speed, but since we have an x and a y value, I would have to do it for both of them, which it's not bad actually. So operator modulo would be this. Yeah, I don't think we need to do sine. I feel like sine is being way too math happy because we're telling it we want sine, but we only want half of sine. And I don't think we need to quite go that far. So I don't know. And actually, no, we don't want to do sine because well, no, that might be okay because it needs to. We don't want it to oscillate, which sine is almost always going to cause it to do unless we do really complicated stuff. We want it to just continuously scroll in one direction. So for that, we don't actually care if it. We don't need it to come back down if it's going up. We just want it to go all the way up all the time. So we can do one operator, not multiplication. Sorry, add node operator division. 1 divided by. I'm going to scroll this bad boy all the way over here. 1 divided by x. So there's our x value. And we'd have another operator modulo operator division. And add node constant float. 1. Do. Okay. So from there, can we do a redirect node? No. We can do a pin. So can I like go to here? No. What's the point of a pin? Yeah, basically just a counter. But the thing is, I want it to clamp, or it needs to wrap back to 0 instantly. Because if a texture, in theory, if you just kept increasing the offset of the texture, eventually you could get floating point errors. So I can't just multiply it by time itself. I need to make sure that it wraps back to 0 once it reaches 1, or once it reaches -1. That way it keeps it self-contained. Otherwise, we'll eventually get errors if someone stayed in the lava area conceivably long enough, which might take forever, honestly, but the possibility, the fact that it exists means that someone would do it, if only out of curiosity. So I'm going to try to move all this stuff up. I really wish we had a cleaner way of doing this. We do this. We got our scrolls. All this stuff. Okay. I just don't like that we have overlapping everything. It's all messy. So it might actually be better to do this. So there's our X value. There's our Y value. And then we have another multiplication. Operator. Multiplication. But yeah, it's basically just forming a counter. Just a super advanced counter that's doing crazy crap, I guess. Oh, actually, we don't need this. We already got this. I'm just gonna. This is gonna be down here, isn't it? Okay. Well, at the very least, we can get rid of these tangles. All right. I think this might do what we want it to. I am hopeful, at the very least. Let's move this up to the center here. Move this guy down here. Move these guys up by that much. So now everything looks all nice and clean. It's like a battle cruiser thing. I don't know. I'm going to call it that because that's cool in my 5-year-old brain. And there we go. Fancy shape. So I'm hopeful. Let's play. Gotta fix that error. Let's turn on that. Set it to 1. Oh dear. Oh my. That's not good. Interesting. It seems to have gone right off the edge. So at 1-1, that's what I would expect. It should be going diagonal. But at 0.5, I'm just going to slide this left until we get to 0. Is 0 a special case here? Because 0 causes everything to freak out. You can see the... It just makes it go away. That doesn't seem... Oh, wait. Oh, because I'm dividing by 0. Dang it. Yeah, that was me being stupid. Hmm. Um, I don't know. There's an elegant way to do this. I'm not just gonna have an if check for if it's 0, because that would be dumb. Unless, hold on, let me see what nodes I have here. Those are all just bools, which is not great. Comparison. I wonder if I can drag this in just out of curiosity. I can. I also wonder if there's a not equal to 1 or to 0, because that would be very nice. Minimum random control. Nope. Okay. So this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna move this up 2 more. Move this down 2 more. Move these guys out to here. I guess we're going to have this if else. Constant float of 0. Then so let's have a control if else. Nope, no. Hold on. This is going to be there. Otherwise, it's just going to be 0, I suppose. There we go. So, not elegant. I'm not crazy about this. But it works. So we're basically going to do a 0 check. But also, if that's the case, it's going to use that. So we'll do the same thing here then. We'll have a constant float, which actually, I don't need that. I can put this here. Center. Have a control, if else, and then a operator. No, logical. Comparison. Not equal. And it is all the way down here. No, it's just if y is not equal to that. Okay. Sorry, I like to have all of my... I try to have as few crossing wires as I can, because otherwise it'll just drive me crazy. So this is going to go here. 0 is going to go here. And then what were my options? That if it's true, 0 if it's not. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Our increasingly odd-looking lamprey. No. Seashell? I don't know. It looks cool, though. Let's try it one more time. Let's pray to the math gods that I'm not crazy. But knowing me, I am. Okay, that's looking promising. Let's go to point 1. No noticeable snapping. Ta-da! I think we got it. So let's go ahead and set this to be negative 0.5. That's it flowing down. Yes! Let's do both that and 0.5. Haha! Let's do 1. So now it's going at a slight angle. Let's do negative 0.1. So it's like snowfall. Haha! Yes! Alright. So, now we just have to apply it to our other fields, and then we have a substance node that can scroll materials for us, which is really nice. And then, bam. If we have that set to off, I turn that all the way up to 1, it's not going to scroll at all. And if it does, haha! Sweet. So that's nice. We can save on that performance by having a toggle there. So we can close that. All right, it was worth the struggle. The hour and 15-minute struggle. Okay, so I'm going to copy all of this. Copy this over, go back to UV scroll, delete that, paste it, set that as an output. All right. So we get our direction and our scroll. All right. So save that out. Let's go back to our lava graph. So all that means is that we have to have this transformation 2D node in front of our normal and our emissive layer. But aside from that, it's nothing special. Well, no, I'll mess with that in a second. So let's add a transformation 2D node. Plug that in right there. Just go right there. Have the offset be driven by an empty function. Edit that. Just drag in UV scroll. Set that as the output. Then do constant variables get float2 scroll direction constant. Oh, sorry, not constant. Variables get boolean use scroll. Haha! See, I'm liking Substance more and more. And then for now, I'm not going to do it to this emissive because I kind of like the effect, although it might actually not even matter. So let's play this. Bring it over here. Yeah, I know. Let's turn this on. Let's set our scrolling to be 0 and -0.1. And then let's just play it. Don't know why I have to drag on the timeline first. So I kind of like having the emissive layer not move, because it's got a really interesting look to it, but I don't know. It's kind of wonky. If I ever decide to use Substance, I'm coming to you for these scripts. That's fine. I'll probably end up sharing these with anyone who asks. I mean, there's no reason for me to cling to them. Unless I want to have more money. Nah, it's fine. Nah, you know what? I don't think I think I'll have the emissive layer scroll as well. Let's turn up our roughness too. Just because it's kind of strange having it not scroll. It's got an interesting effect, but it's not quite perfect, I don't think. So, okay. So let's stop that. Let's save. I don't need to save because that's the player. Yeah. I think I'll have. I think I'm going to add a use scrolling here, and I'm going to add a new one for use emissive scrolling. Emissive scroll, which I spelled emissive right? Yes, I did. Scroll the emissive 1M, 2 S's. Mask with the rest of the materials. With the rest of the layers. Okay. That's going to be a Boolean. And by default, I think I'm going to leave it as false. That's fine. Direction, I'm also going to set this to be 0, 0 by default. So let's save that out. Let's go ahead and add a transformation 2D. Drag that right there. So we'll have the option to turn it on later. But if I think it looks better in Unity without it, then I can just toggle it off without having to worry about anything. So empty function. Let's adjust that. Pull in UV scroll. Set that as an output. Add node. Vector. What was I doing? Variables. Get float 2. Scroll direction. And we're going to have fun with this one because we're going to need to do variables, get boolean, variables, get boolean, use scroll and use scroll emissive scrolling. Because if either of these two are false, we don't want it to scroll. Because it wouldn't make sense to scroll the emissive without scrolling the rest of it. Or, actually, I guess we could, but I don't know. I think for now I'll just keep them separate. Well, I'll tie them together. So, logical, have both of them. Right, that's the, yep, okay. So as long as both of those are turned on, then it will be able to scroll. So if we go back to our lava, all that stuff's in place now. Let's save that out. Save. This thing has a ton of parameters now. Let's save it out. Lava.spsar. That's all okay. Real quick, I want to see if that error pops up. So that error doesn't pop up whenever we open it up in Substance Player directly. Kind of weird. Oh, and also, real quick, let's go back here to our graph. Let's put emissive scroll underneath use scrolling. That way it's just in a nicer area. So, close that. That way we have bools next to each other. I don't like to have separate types of inputs. Or the same type of input split up between areas. I like to try and group them all together if I can. So let's save this. Lava.spsar, that's all fine. Okay. Then we'll do one last pass inside Substance Player, see what that looks like. Let's turn use scrolling on. Let's set our direction to be negative 0.5-ish. Let's hit play. So that's what that looks like. And now let's turn this on as well. So that's what that looks like if it's scrolling and the emissive layer scrolling. Without it, we get this effect. Which looks interesting, I'm not going to lie. Okay, it's hard to judge here, so let's look at it in Unity. Which I think is like one of the only folders I don't have open. Because why would I? Okay, so let's go to Scenes, Underground Kingdom, Magma River, and then Substance, Underground, Magma River. Show this in Explorer. Alright. Let's copy this over. I also hate it when it does that, when it pulls that replace thing at the very bottom instead of at the top of the UI. Okay. So, let's check our lava. Okay, those are all set to be correct. Animation update rate, 100 is still fine, I think. So we're going to use scrolling. Directional will be negative 1Y. Then let's save it and watch it go. I don't know why I didn't just turn this off. That way we can directly look at it below us. Oh wow, that's kind of choppy. Okay, let's increase this. So let's try 1,000. So I don't know if that's gonna go crazy or not. Oh, okay. I had that backwards. See, whenever I see a number like this, animation update rate, I think that means 1,000 times per second. But no, that means every 1,000 milliseconds it will update. So if that's the case, 10. Let's try that. So this will be updating 10 times faster than when it was before, or 10 times more often. So we should get a much smoother look. Oh my god, no it does not. That is not smooth at all. Let's try 1. That's pretty smooth. It's very fast, but that's probably because of the scaling. I almost want to have a independent scrolling for the emissive layer. Oh, this is actually worse. It's harder to see everything from down here. Okay, hold on. Let's also turn on emissive scroll. See what that looks like. Turn the sorry. Turn the ground back on. Oh, really? It just goes right through it. Okay. So let's see what this looks like. Oh, it's really choppy. Why is it choppy again? It was scrolling so nice before. Is it that intensive? I mean, it can't be that intensive. Getting a 7 millisecond delay. Hold on. Oh my god, did it just... I can't go 0.5 milliseconds, or can I? Nope, it's integers. Dang it. Maybe I don't want to generate bitmaps. See if that'll do anything for us. I'm also going to slow this to 0.05. So let's see if we can... I don't like how choppy it is. That's kind of annoying. See, that's a lot smoother. But we're getting weird pixelation. Are you seeing the blinking in and out? Ah! Dang it. Fell off the edge again. You can see like this blinking in and out happening. I don't know if that's because the maps are being regenerated all the time, or... let's turn off emissive scroll. Maybe it doesn't like scrolling those two things independent or at the same time. Ah, oh, dang it! I put a collider on this. Feels like it scrolls smoother without it. Okay. Still getting that weird clipping. Huh. I wonder why, though. That's very odd. Hmm. Here, hold on. So let's take a look at this. We're going to step through frame by frame. So you can see over here on this A, it's like sputtering. See if there's one closer that we can more easily see. It's a very subtle effect, but once you notice it, it's everywhere. We're getting it here at the bottom right corner a little bit. It's like shining through green almost, like right there. Huh. It's really weird. And now that I think about it, this could be because the light map is not baked right now. It's doing real-time lighting. And Substance can handle real-time lighting, but it's kind of weird. So I don't know if baking a light map would fix this or not. Here, let me turn off my lighting. Because, I mean, this is all of the lighting we really need. Except that's not actually going to do anything, is it? Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, I'm not going to worry about that for now, I guess. I think I will keep the emissive layer scrolling off, so that it only so that the emissive layer doesn't scroll with the rest of it. We'll try generating maps again. Maybe that'll help. I want to see what this looks like now. And then we'll go ahead back into Substance to make a one or two quick. Yeah, it like really chugs. Like, look at that. It's terrible. I don't know why. Is it too? Is it too much? Is it scrolling so much that it's like? Here, actually, how slow can you? Well, the emissive layer scrolls exactly the same as the directional layer, or the rest of the layers. I didn't give it an independent value. I mean, I can. It wouldn't be that hard. But give me a second here. I would like to not maximize on play. And hold on. Try and spin this around so that it's at a good spot. But of course it's not. All right. Hold on. Try one more time. There we go. So let's change our animation update rate to 10. 10 makes it more choppy. How about 100? Makes it even more choppy. So we want it at 1. That's as low as it'll go. Don't need a random seed. Don't need to worry about this. Our roughness is set to 1 again. That's good. Let's try putting this down at 0.01. It didn't seem to slow down, actually. That's weird. Why? It seems like. Hold on. Let's change this to -1. Our direction doesn't affect it. Why doesn't our direction affect it? 0. Oh, you know what? I bet these values updating in real time don't do anything. I bet you have to set these ahead of time. That's a little frustrating. So, yeah, it just snapped back. Try -0.01. And then we'll sprint. I don't know which way's faster, honestly. This way might be a little bit faster. The other way is just more convenient. It's not too bad. me try 0.001. So this thing's going to be crawling, basically. Which is fine. Oh, and I guess we can maximize on play again. But yeah, you can see the pixelation occurring there, right? It's even worse when it's slow. I have no idea why it's doing that. It's really terrible. That is so weird. Let me see if that happens whenever I scroll the emissive layer too. Freaking UI. I gotta fix a lot of UI stuff. Yeah, so that pixelation just always happens. I wonder if that's the MIP maps. No, because we turned it off once and it didn't change anything, did it? So like if I force the generation of all substance outputs. No, I don't think we want that. Let's get this back in there. Could it be because it's compressed, maybe? No, that wouldn't make sense. It's not the MIP maps. It's happening regardless. No, yeah. It's saying the MIP map shouldn't affect it close up. No, it shouldn't. It's probably something weird with substance outputs. I have it build on level load. I don't know. I'll look into this. I'm not gonna worry about it for now, just because I don't want it to mess with our flow of things. So for now, I consider this a huge win, because we have animated lava texture. So we'll go ahead and do a quick texture for the ruins floor. So I made these textures already. Consumed by lava. Yep. So I've made these textures and the masks required for them already. So we're just going to hook this stuff up. And this one doesn't have anything special, fortunately, so it's going to be pretty fast. So I'll just grab all of these, drag them in, and then we'll turn all of these things to grayscale, because they are just masks. And our normal map, of course. So there's our color. Add our normal. And gotta get used to some of these. My tabs have been messed up over here. There we go. Adjustments. Normal map. Combine normal. Pull this in. Oh, don't forget to switch this over to OpenGL. Make another normal. OpenGL. Pull this in. And bam. We have our normal map already and our texture map. So fast. It's very nice doing something non-complicated. But don't worry, we'll be back doing something pretty complicated in a second. Yeah, the night's still young, so after we get this texture set up, we're going to set up another texture. And we're actually going to try to delve into the procedural part of Substance. So we'll try to make a porous, bubbly effect and see how far we can get with that. I honestly don't know, because I've never done anything like that before. So, all right. So what do we have here? So let's scroll in here. That way we can see everything. So this is our mortar. This is for our metal. And this is for our stone. So our stone and our mortar are probably going to want to go up top. And we'll see what happens. So let's add a blend node. It's going to be based off of this. And let's go to our noises. So we want stone. It's going to be pretty basic, so we only want dirt 2, I think will be fine. So this is for the majority of our stone area. So it's going to be these tile areas. And actually, real quick, let's go ahead and add uniform color, grayscale. This is going to be our roughness. We're just going to make it 100% rough. That way we can have a nice... oops. Can't grab this. Why won't you work with me? Substance designer. There we go. So we can zoom in on this and see it a little bit better. Alright, so let's go to add normal. Get another blend map in there. Or blend node. This one will be dirt 5, I think, will be pretty good. So there's our stone tiles. Grab this. Put it here. Grab these guys, move them up a little bit. Then we're going to have another blend node. It's going to be based off of this. It's going to be our front color. That'll be our back. So if I plug this in, you'll see that we have a nice, rough effect going on. And we still need to do our metal, though, so can't quite get everything perfect. So here's our metal layer, which actually we're going to have a blend node here. Put this down, and we're going to break this node. Put that there, and then add another node, another uniform color. Grayscale. That's going to be our actual output for roughness. Just going to drag some things and space things out a little bit better because we're getting cluttered again. Alright. Drag this out a little bit. I'll condense it once we get done. Or once we get done. Poor grammar tonight. Once we finish, let's drag this. And there we go. And then we'll have another blend down here for our metallic. Add node. Uniform color. Grayscale. Oops. That. Add node. Uniform color. Grayscale. Make this white just for contrast's sake. There we go. And then we can go ahead and dock these all. We'll adjust them later. Ta-da. So, do I want to have any sort of scratching or anything on our Oculus area? I'm not sure. I actually want to have rust on it. So, grunge maybe? Because, I mean, this is metal that's been over lava for a long time. So scratches are less of a concern and more of a... I feel like grunge would be a little more interesting to see. So let's try this. Add node blend. Let's pull this in. Pull this in. Let's move these guys back a little bit. Do another blend node. What this guy's going to be. Patina type texture. I don't know what a patina is. Let's find out together. Yeah. Not. Yeah, basically something like that. Um, not quite as extreme, but the concept of yeah, a metal rusting over like that. Um, we could experiment with that. Yeah, oxidation. Let me. Hold on, let's put this in here. Let's plug this in. So this is going to be our new output. That's not bad. Certainly interesting. Um, so let's put this over here. Put this over here. Move these guys over here. Um, crazy organizing this. Um, so I know that Substance. I mean, Substance is really good for stuff like Rust. Um, but I've never really done it. And I'm also gonna lower this. Hold on, metallic value. So it's a little less crazy, and lower our heighten our roughness to say like 200. That's pretty nice. Um, so there's our normal map. So I've never done Rust with Substance. We might. I don't know if I want to try and do like edge detection based on our normal, which would be really cool, but I don't know if it'd be worth it. Um, let's try this for one. Grab this stuff. Move this down. Before we get in here, there's no rusting effect already built in. I doubt it. So I want to do a little research on that. So we're not going to do that tonight, but I will keep that in mind. We might tackle that later on this week, like on Friday. So for now, we're just going to keep our add frame. Move this stuff up. Interesting. It's not showing us our milliseconds anymore. Usually it does that. Weird. Maybe they got rid of that with Substance 5.3. I kind of liked that though. That was a nice indication of how long things were taking. So normal. There's our normal section. Our lone color up here. Call that color. Make it more green, because that's how we roll. Let's give our... Oh, also make that 50. Make these guys red. Call them masks. 130, 50. And then our roughness and metallic. Oops. Add frame. Rough. And this was, I believe, purple with metallic as seal or cyan. I don't know what it is, if I remember correctly. Okay. And the last thing we need is we're going to expose this color as Oculus Rough, I think. Yeah, I think that's what we're just going to call it. Expose this, call this base rough. Make this 25. Say Oculus. Oculus. Metallic. Then expose this as base metallic. Cool. So now we can go to our substance here, put in our credentials. It is Ruins Floor. Alright, now let's get all this stuff set up properly. Slider. Oculus. Rough. 0.75. Base rough. Make it a slider. Value of 1. Oculus. Metallic. Slider. 0.1 is fine, I think. And then base metallic. Slider again. All set to 1. That's all good. That should be everything we need. So, cool. Let's save that. Let's export it. Ruins Floor. Alright. And then we will bring this back into Unity. Where we will apply it to our floor. This is going to be all kinds of fun. I don't know if I've even set up the UVs properly. That's not bad, actually. Not great, but not bad. 512 by 512 is probably fine, except we are going to tile the hell out of it. So let's go 10 by 10. Oh, way more than that. Also, oh, no, sorry. Cut out. There we go. So we can see the lava through it. And maybe make this 50 by 50. Alright. Oh, and I almost forgot. We got to turn on our ANSIO filtering. Make that 8. That way everything looks sharp. So let's see what this looks like. I'm curious. Not bad. It's got kind of a... Is it backwards? No, it shouldn't be. Interesting. It's got kind of a weird effect because you can see... It's like you are seeing things below it. It's also slightly stretched out because of the UV mapping that's non-existent yet. That's why these are square and these are diamonds. Which is actually kind of cool. I like the diamonds. It's a nice effect. I almost want to keep them like this. Just this like varying... Oh, except for that. These like varying diamond shapes. Huh. So let me tile by like 70 by 70. Make it a little bit smaller. Oh, and I meant to turn off the... let's go back here to lava. Let's turn off the emissive scroll. Alright, so let's see what this looks. But it looks way 2D. Yeah, that was one of my concerns when I was working on it. If I was going to make this work 100%, I would have to model and position these properly. So I would actually have to have my floor with 10 build... Oh, that's a really cool effect. That's really, really cool. I really like that. I would have to model and uh, actually carve these diamonds into the floor. So that's kind of impractical. I would prefer not to do that, just because that would send the poly count way up. So I don't know if there's a good way to get around it. There might not be. Unless I want to change this from stone to like just everything's metal. So it's like you're walking above a mesh. Like a steel mesh thing. That might be more acceptable, but it's still kind of... Ugh. I could also... Like here, let's go 100 by 100. Or just for shits and giggles, 200 by 200. That's actually not that bad. Um, no, that doesn't fix it. I was hoping that having smaller ones would make it less obvious. Although it's actually kind of distracting with this many. Um, and you get stuff like that. Oh, and that's so weird. You can see through. You can see the outline of everything because it is just 2D. Um, crud. Dang it. So this just might not be something I can do, honestly. At least not on the floor. I might be able to get away with this on like a wall or a window of some kind. Um, that's so weird. It's like a perception trick. It looks like there's a ramp here. It's, um, so I might just not be able to do this on the floor. Unless I can come up with some sort of really cool shader thing to do, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that. So we might want to have our lava scrolling just a little bit faster than that. Okay. Well, for now, I'm just going to leave it. I'll try to think of something else that we can do for it. And instead, we'll start working on the other texture for tonight, which is... let's save all that. Let's do File, New Substance, Physically Based, Metallic Roughness, and it is going to be Magma Tile? Is that what I called it? Magma Stone Tile? Yeah, that's correct. So we're going to link our vector graphics. And... oh no, I haven't made them yet. Okay. Cool. Although we will go ahead and save it. Recent places. None of these are even close. Okay. Hard drive, game development, Unity, text quest, art, substance, environment, underground, magma river. Save. Okay. It's because I have it open here. So this is going to be, you can see that it's very similar to what we were just working on. This is going to be the floor for our overlook area. And we're going to be doing some experimental stuff with the, I looked this up, pumice. That's how you pronounce that word, pumice. I would have pronounced it pumice, honestly, but pumice. So we're going to be doing some cool like lava bubbly effects with it, because pumice is that right? Nope. I was completely wrong. Although it's cool that it says oh, it's ICE, right. ICE. Pumice is how it's pronounced. Pumice. I want to have this sort of like bubbly texture to it. So we're going to have to mess with substance procedural stuff to try to get that to work. So let's go back to Substance, or actually back to Illustrator. And real quick, we're going to go ahead and make our normal maps and all of that. So rename this normal. Turn off our previous layer. Get rid of the copies. All right. So now we're going to turn these, change this color to be 50% gray because it's our base layer. Change our divides to all be black because we want it to be indented. Change our text to all be black because we want it to be indented. And for some reason, Pumice didn't change, nor did tiles copy. Why did you disobey me, computer? There we go. Weird. Alright, so there's our normal map. Oh, except actually, I'm going to change our background to be white. So that way we have high contrast. So let's save that. And then we have a very basic mask that we're going to be doing. Lock that. And then don't need any of this actually. We can delete this. All we really need is that. It's our backgrounds. Ta-da! Alright. So let's lock that, turn these off, turn that back on. So that's all of our textures that we need. We just need the three, the base, the normal, and one mask. I lied. We do need two masks, one for the mortar as well. That was me being dumb. So let's copy this. Divides, drag this up here. Do a locked layer so it's not going to do anything. Lock normal back up. Turn this off. Oh, weird. Okay. So our masks should basically be this, except why is it solid white? Oh, it's because it's the default. Yeah, hold on. Cancel. So this is our pumice mortar. Let's move this stuff down here. Change that all so that it's white. And then we will go ahead and do a mask. Stretch this all the way. 1024 by 1024, not 1025. Oops. 512, 512 positioning, and change this to black. Move our divides above it, and bam! There's our mortar mask. Okay. So now we are finished. Save that out. Oops. Let's delete our normal and our masks. Save as an SVG, magma stone tile. That's fine. Convert everything to an outline. Recent files. Close all this stuff. Get rid of these two. Export our normal map. Call it magmastone tile underscore normal. Okay. File, open recent files. Let's close all this. Get rid of normal and base. Open up our masks. And let's just go ahead and get rid of pumice. SVG again. Underscore mask underscore mortar. And then our last one is going to be delete these guys. Open this up, turn this off, turn this off. Get rid of mortar. And then pumice. this out. Mask. Pumice. Ta-da! Alright, so now we can go over here, and we can link all of our resources. So magma stone tile. Pull all those things in. Oops. Drag them in. And we have our textures. Alright. Let's go ahead and space these things out a little bit. Don't really need to though, because these are normals and colors. So let's plug our color in. Cool. Let's get our normals. Normal. OpenGL. Normal. OpenGL. Oops. I forgot to convert these to grayscale. 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 Then of course we need our normal combine so that they blend together properly. Ta-da! And we'll have our uniform color. 100% rough. Grayscale it. Not metallic at all. It's looking nice, looking nice. Got a slight normal effect. So we just need to get these two working. And wait, what is now the pumice, that's going to be a special thing, so we're going to pull that mask off to the side for now. Let's add a blend node. Use this. Go to our noises. And we are going to use Dirt 5, because that's kind of like our default mortar thing. So if we plug this in right now, we'll get that nice... Dang it. I messed up. Hold on. Close this, close this, close this. Let's open recent files. I forgot to include the text in the mortar. So, our mortar is actually not fully text. Or it's not fully done. All this stuff. Let's open up normal. Let's duplicate text. It's all locked down because I'm crazy about that stuff. Let's drag that into mortar. Drag that into mortar. Are you kidding me? Drag that into mortar. Set our color to be white. Ta-da. There we go. No, that's fine. Get rid of text copy. Plug that all in. Just lock the mask layer, lock the normal layer, turn these all off. Save it so that our main one has it. Then get rid of normal and base. Hit yes. Turn this on. Get rid of pumice. Yes. And then now we can save this out as the correct SVG, which is going to be magma stone tile, pumice, magma stone tile, mask mortar. Yep, replace it. Hit OK. And then there we go. So now our text is actually showing the correct stuff. Okay. So that's all the basic stuff. What we have to do now is I want to create a bubbly effect like this with substance. So we're going to have to mix and match some stuff to see what we can get. So this will be our mask for, because we only want the bubbles to be in the pumice area. So this mask will allow us to isolate that at the very end. So we'll be able to come up here eventually and just say, blend this stuff in. So blend this. This will be our background. We'll do that. So for now, it's just going to flatten out that main area, but don't worry, we'll fix that. So how are we going to do this? That's a good question. I Um, so I guess let's start with what do we got? Perlin noise. Um, Microscope view. That's promising. Moisture noise? No. Just trying to find a good base here before we start messing with things. Blending, blurs, no. Channels, effects. No bevels, don't need to worry about that. Oh, that's kind of cool. Vector warping. So if I wanted, I could... Oh, they have a vector map. That's... I just do stuff like that. Interesting. Mosaic, I think, is what we would want. There's our grayscale, and our mosaic map would probably be something like... Perlin noise. So that's our output. Oof. No, we don't want to go that bad. We actually don't want a mosaic. I think that's going to make things too hard. We want to go for a softer look. So effects, no blending, no embossing. Let's try some levels. And actually, no, it's fine. So let's brighten these or darken them. No. That's making things bright, but we don't want to blow them out. We actually want to darken them. So not bad. How far do we have to go before we start getting... We might need a different noise to start off with. But we might not have much of a choice, honestly. Gaussian spots are actually pretty promising. Let's try that instead. Ooh! Ooh! I like that. Yeah. There we go. Then out of curiosity, let's just invert that. So adjustments, invert grayscale. Okay. Let's add another level. So this one we want to bring down. To make those splotches really noticeable. Like that. Okay. So I think that's starting to give us a good spongy look to it. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to plug it in here. Not bad. I was expecting it to look a lot worse on the first go. So yeah, we're definitely going to want to use Gaussian spots for this. Or, is it Gaussian or Gaussian? It might be Gaussian. I want to call it Gauss, but it might be Gaussian. Anyway, I am not an artiste, so I do not know. We might want to... Can I darken this a little bit more? Not much reason to, I suppose. It's fine there. Okay, so that gives us our spots. But it might be a little too large still. So if that's the case, we might actually want to tile it. So, I forget tiling. Here we go. Make a pattern. So pattern size height 256 by 256. It's actually not that bad. It certainly looks more porous, although it is it's a little blurry. I'm not crazy about that, but that could just be the effect we have to live with here. And maybe a higher resolution will fix that. Or actually, oh no, that goes all the way to 1. Octave 2. So 1 is basically our default. No, 0 is our default. Or not, really. Yeah, let's try that. So at 3 it's too much, I think. Well, maybe not. 3 is looking pretty good. Don't need to worry about rotation, I don't think. Although rotation variation could be interesting. That way it just sort of goes crazy here. Not bad. So this is our final result. I would just like to intensify that a little bit if I could. So let's stick this through levels one more time. Just to make it really, really dark and porous. Ooh, okay, maybe not that dark and porous. Like that. That's pretty good. So there's our final, more porous substance. Yeah, that's the thing about the names of people who invented these things, like Gaussian, Perlin. It's not Perlin, it's Perlin. I think. Blin, Fong. It's all just names of people who invented these algorithms. So I think that looks pretty good. I would just hope that at a higher resolution it looks much better. I also wonder if I can do a threshold. Pixel processor, sharpen, matte gradient, emboss, distance, direction warp, blur, blend. Because I would basically like to. Well, I could do this. Add node. Blend. Add node. Uniform color. Grayscale. I guess it would be. What, 125 would be about 50%. Let's merge these two things. And let's just make this max. Lighten. Oh, I'm sorry. Min. Darken. Then try this. So that's min darken, and this is what it was without that. So doing min darken makes it a lot less bumpy, but at the same time I think that takes away some of the nice touches that it adds. So let me connect this up again. We'll leave that. Let's just export this. I'm curious to see how this looks. Let's move this over, this up. this is our wonderful bubble effect. So I guess actually what we could do is we could play this and see what this looks like at a higher resolution. Not bad. Um, I might. So we go back to substance. It might be good to have a bit of the color be affected by this as well. So if we add node blend, how are we going to do this? It's going to be fun. So add node blend based on this. With this, use an inverted version of this. To no, that wouldn't. Hey, hold on. I just gotta do this backwards actually. Invert this grayscale here, there. Use this. Then use this with this, I think. Really? Oh, right, because that's not a color. Hold on. Gradient map. So that's what our... Oh man, that looks really nasty actually. That might need another levels in here. So let me add... Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not smooth. So if we look at it, oops. So that's like a close-up of it. This is what it looks like. Of course, it's like a raw rock. It'd be nice if I had a clean vertical slice. So well, um, so hold on. So there's our levels. Or no, there's our grayscale conversion. Let's add another levels here. Because we basically want to have as dark as possible. Like, oh, that might be a little too dark. Like I don't want any real white there. So something like that, maybe. It makes it look diseased almost. So let's save this. Let's look at it in Substance Player again. So I mean, that's what it looks like. I'm a little worried that it makes it hard to read. I'm not sure if I'm getting the bumps looking like they go outward. Too black, yeah. Um, well, I mean, it's also tricky because, I mean, they're bubbles, so it's going to be really dark. Um, but I might be able to... Let's see. So this is converting it to grayscale. I wonder if I can try to do another... Hmm. I also don't know if I should do this. Oh, oh my. That certainly hardened up the edges a bit. Um, but it might be good to... Oh, our normal map should probably be reflecting this as well. So if that's the case, I just gotta get rid of the other level. Um, so I make it really, really hard bubbles. Um, oops. Okay, so I can actually make these sort of a bluey effect. So that's solid black. Make it a little bit more like the color of that. Save that if we open this back up in Substance Designer. Or Substance Player. I don't know. So the light is coming from the right, which means that if you're seeing bumps with white on the left and darker areas on the right, that means that the light is behaving properly. Maybe it's hard to say. I do like it. Let's change this to 1024. I want to see if this actually affects it any. No, it well, definitely would there. So at 512, at 1024, it's very nice and crisp. But yeah, I do get what you're saying before. It does look like it's more like water droplets almost, as opposed to actually carving into it. Micro bump it from here really lightly. No, I don't think I can do anything in here. I have to do it all in Substance. But I could probably have a separate normal for normal. I mean, normally I don't have more than two normal maps, but I could probably have a separate normal for these two areas. So I have this normal here, and then on top of that, we'll give this guy a normal. Make sure it's OpenGL. Let's go to normal combine. So we'll basically have three normal maps as opposed to our normal two. And we can change the intensity on this guy. It's like really, really intense. so I'm going to expose this real quick. Hit OK. Load this back in. So we can adjust this intensity at least a little bit. So at default, it's going to be 3. You can see us getting that normal adjusted. So by default, it's 1. And this is what we get. Let's bump this up to 1024 again, because 1024 really makes bumps pop. So as we slide it up, it's not really getting that much more noticeable. Like, it's noticeable from 0 to 1, definitely. But is this affecting the other ones too? Oh, dang it. Really? Hold on. Yeah, I think this is affecting the other normal maps too. See? It is. Crap. I gotta fix that. Let's expose that. Let's get rid of this intensity. Let's expose this as pumice intensity. Save all this stuff. Let's load it back up. All right, 1024. So now it should only be the yeah. There we go. No, it feels like it's affecting everything. Like all the normal maps are tied to the same thing. That's annoying. Okay, so I guess I don't get a choice there. Rotate the last normal? What do you mean? I could also have like a base bump going on here. Excuse me. Oh! Oh! Ah! Dang it. I was being stupid. That's why I was doing that. Hold on. There we go. Oops. There we go. Let me try this all again. Go back here. 1024. It's because I had normal that was layering the same area as another normal, so when I was adjusting that, it was adjusting that one. Or when I was adjusting this value, it was adjusting the other values as well. So now it's just our pumice layer that's being affected. So that's at 0. It's at 1. And I feel like anything above 1 is just lost. I'm just not seeing any difference. So I don't feel like it's enough. Just don't like how it's got this like bubbly color. Yeah. So it's at 3 right now. If I change it to 1, there's like nothing, no visual difference. I feel like it would be fine if I could get rid of these white spots. So hold on. First off, let me just do this. difference. Okay, fair enough. So having levels on levels on levels really gets things working, huh? Um, hmm. Bring this up a bit. That gives us this, which is a little tough to look at. Again, 524 or 1024. It's a little bit better. Things aren't quite as white. But it might be worthwhile to tile this a little bit more. So if we go back here, let's tile it 3 times or 4 times. Maybe 5. Ooh. Ooh. 5's a bit much. Let's go to 4. Let's save this. Let's look at it here. 1024. That's more bubbly. I like that. Yeah. That's the problem. I could bump the text. Well, not bump it, but I could actually separate it so that it's its own layer. That way it will always be crystal clear. And that might be preferable. So if I go back here. So right now, this is what I would like. Like I would like the pumice to be much more readable like that. And if that's the case, these are combining. Okay. I think I'm going to make another mask for this. So let's go back here. Open up magma stone tile. Close all these. Let's close mortar and pumice. And turn this off. I'm going to duplicate this. Actually, I don't even need to do that. I think I can just change this. Change this to be black. Lock that, close this, open this. Okay, save that out. Now we can turn this on, get rid of these guys, get rid of mortar, and save this out as an SVG again. Okay, so now when we go back into Substance, we should just get a lot of this black area like this, because pumice is no longer being used to color it. So pumice is going to be solid, but it still might not be enough. So if I save this, and yeah, I think you're right. I think 4 bubble looks the best. Let's go back here. 5, 10, 24. So that's a little bit better. It's still got a little bit of problems though. Hmm. Okay. What do we want to do here? It'd just be really nice if I could make the bumps a lot deeper, but intensity doesn't seem to do that. So I don't think there's a good way to do it. And the other thing I want to try is I'm getting some bleeding for these spots. Not liking that. So this up here. Move this guy here. Move this guy here. A wonderful train of levels. Move these guys so that they're in a actual spot. So I could adjust this color to make it a little bit brighter. Less blue, more white. So then it's not quite as noticeable. Yeah, that's true. So let's save it as is. We'll take one more look at it in Substance Player. That makes it a little more tolerable, I think. So let's go ahead and save. Let's save it out. Magma Stone Tile. Hit OK. Magma River. Wrong one. Magma River. Magma Stone Tile. Copy it over. Let's pop it in Unity. Alright. I'm going to tile this back to 100. So this is going to be fun. Magma Stone Tile. So everything's going to be tiled for... Ah, the UVs are just completely messed up. No, they're not. I normalized them, so they're just spaced out a lot. Okay. Hooray. So let me get this up. And then let's tile this. Let's try 100 by 100. Just see what it looks like. And of course we gotta run all the way down there. Or actually we can run all the way over here. It looks horrendous on our pillars because our pillars have bad UVs. That's not bad actually. It's still legible. I probably should shrink it down a little bit more. So I'm going to double its size real quick. So let's make. I'm not going to increase the resolution because I don't need to have every texture in the scene be 1024 by 1024. I need to do better at reining myself in there. Okay. So this is at 200 tile texture. This is probably closer to what it's going to look like. So I think this works pretty well, actually, because you can read the word as long as you can read the text. That's my main thing. The spots are a nice effect, but they're not as necessary as the text. And actually, the spots don't look that bad once you actually get in here. So let me take a look at it, see if it changes. I guess it wouldn't change up anywhere. Oh, this is gonna suck. Oh wait, no, this is a stair. This will be a staircase, so never mind. That's not gonna be bad. So, yeah, I like it. I think that works very well. Yeah, not bad. Considering that was our first attempt at any sort of like procedural stuff in Substance. I think it turned out pretty well, actually. I'm willing to bet $1 million I come back later on and redo it completely in like 5 minutes. But for now, it's actually not that bad. Still got our staircase too. I was planning on texturing the staircase tonight, but it's almost 11, and I have to polish up other parts of this for a stand-up meeting tomorrow. So I don't think that there's anything really else I need to do for this texture tonight. Yeah, normal map looks good for the other parts. Pumice looks good. It's a little soft, but I think it's fine. I am going to bump it up to 1024 by 1024 just to see what it looks like. Because I'm sure that it's going to look really, really nice up close. 1024, 1024. So, yeah. I think that's going to be it for tonight. Oh, yeah, 1024 by 1024 looks so much better. Yeah, I think we're going to call it a night. We did a lot of really good work with Substance. Particularly, the lava animation, which, why does it chug like that? That drives me insane. I just want it to move smoothly. But we got lava actually scrolling. We have partially okay stone tile stuff here, and then we got our pumice procedural stuff to work pretty nicely actually, and it looks really good. So I think that'll do it for tonight's session. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so we're not going to be on. We'll come back Thursday with programming, and let me think what we need to do. We'll probably go through and clean up some old code. So just old stuff like doors, because I'm trying to update everything to use the new JSON system that I set up. Yeah, we'll see what we do on Thursday. But that'll be it for tonight. So thank you all very much for patiently sitting there while I went, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, that'll be good for tonight. As always, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.